that's Summit.
All right, we are live.
Right? It's just lanky.
Perfect.
And then rocket barrel. All right, awesome. Okay, I'll hit that.
Alright, so hello everyone,
Yes,
and welcome to Donkey Kong 64 Battleship Bingo. So let's get hyped for that. I believe, now there's me, and Floach will be your fellow host. So now would you like to introduce yourself, Static?
Okay, I'll just run to
Sure. Hey guys, my name's StaticG703. I'm a streamer as well as a DK64 speedrunner in the DK64 Discord. So I'm very excited I play bingo all the time, so it's really exciting to actually commentate one of these. Pretty cool.
Sure.
Especially Battleship. It's an interesting format.
I'm going to grab a few blueprints.
Indeed, it is. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we get started with the run itself?
I'll just check for some technical difficulties in here.
Alright, looks like there is still some stuff to check, but hang on tight because we should be starting basically really soon. But in any case, as you may see at the bottom of your screen, we actually reached 1.5k total dollars for the donations for Fred Hutch. So thank you everyone for your donations, which we will get in just a moment. So thank you everyone, it's amazing we've managed to reach this milestone. In any case, this is all... Yeah, welcome back. Everything okay? We can't seem to hear Floha. Yeah, you're here? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, because we're not talking. Hi. So, are we ready to get started?
Yes, we are ready to get started in here. So, I guess whenever everything is ready here, we can do a countdown for the runners and get the run started in here.
Right. Who's doing countdown then? I've done the music. Yes.
Looks like Flo has counting down.
Alright, I'm gonna count down in here, and we're gonna go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Alright, let me just... Apparently their stream is a bit loud, so we're gonna turn down that.
Alright, so it seems Jorge is either lagging a little bit on his stream, so we may get... some of his goals might be a little bit late on our end, but that's okay. They're just going to start off with training barrels. Pretty standard in every single DK64 run you'll ever do. Basically, at the start of the game, you have to do these 4 training barrels, just with necessary skills. Throwing oranges, swimming through water, climbing on vines, and it stops you from buying moves from Cranky until you complete all 4 of them, so they just get started doing that before they do anything else.
Okay, just to clear up any confusions again in here, I'm sorry. So what is the color layout now?
Okay, so I believe for Team 801 Fake Bean, they are the blue, and for Team Muffled Baboon Noises, they are the pink.
All right, there we go.
And just for a fun fact as an aside, I think Bismuth has the world record in the regular category. It's like a 38-minute, which is ridiculous, but it'll be interesting to see. All these runners are pretty competent bingo players.
All right, so I've got a few donations in here. Am I good to read them?
Yeah, sure, by all means.
All right, I got a $1 donation by Zed saying smiley face. I got a $3.50 anonymous donation saying smiley face. I got a $1 donation by Zed saying smiley face. I got another $1 donation by Zed saying smiley face. And I got a final donation by Zed saying smiley face. Thank you very much for those donations, Zed. I think you got some names in here for the worms bingo in here. So those are quite some interesting names. If you want to get your own names in for that, then consider donating. But having said that, back to you, Static, and to Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you very much. Let me just see if there's anything. Doesn't look like... If you guys have any questions or whatever, just ask them in the chat. Because I run DK64 as well, so I can hopefully explain anything that might be confusing. Just because DK is a broken game. Okay, looks like Znernicus is going to Fungi Forest first, potentially? Or he might just be checking rainbow coins. Okay, never mind, yeah. He's gonna do Aztec. Alright, they're doing the O-clip, and Znern gets a first try. Zorulda goes for the... Oh my goodness. Why would Zoru phase walk during a stream run? Only he would. Okay, so three of our players are in Angry Aztec right now. It looks like... Actually, no. Yeah, Jorge is just the only one who's not in just yet. Okay. Bismuth and Zoru managed to do wall clips. Alright, it looks like all three of them, besides Jorge, because he just got in, they're all going to be going to do DQ.
So it seems there are some questions in chat as to how the game works, like what we got in here, what does this Battleship bingo mean in here, and what do the several goals mean in here?
Okay, yeah, for sure. So just to go over the board super quick, it's kind of like the standard game of Battleship. So both teams chose a 2-goal ship, a 3-goal ship, and a 4-goal ship. So the goal of the format is basically to try and, sink the battleship of the other team, or to do the goals on the board that the other team has. Whoever manages to actually get all those goals done first will win the actual bingo board. Right now, what they're doing is they're just trying to get access to as many of the cons as possible. This game is one of those big collectathon games with 5 different characters. but unlocking all 5 different characters is pretty slow, so they do a trick where they access the last level in the game early in order to get access to all 5 comms within the first, 15 minutes of the run. So as you can see with the other 3, Jorge's about to do it now, but they placed a barrel in front of the boss. His name is Dogadon. And they took damage at the same time that the boss took damage. And I don't know the specific nature of why this happens. Bismuth is a Tasser. You might want to actually ask him if you want any more questions about that. But it basically insta-kills the boss. Not only that, but it gives you the key 5, which you weren't even supposed to get until the 5th level in the 2nd level of the game. So it's really helpful as a time save. So it looks like Zoru's going off to Creepy Castle, which is what he just got the key for. Some other people are going off to get rainbow coins for some goals. Oh, looks like Jorge failed the trick, so he's gonna have to try again. Okay, interesting trick that Jorge's doing. He's clipping onto the floor to get around one of the doors, a trick we call Guitar Skip in sort of main segment runs. I'm guessing he might be going here to get a gun, possibly to unlock Lanky and do some stuff in step right now. Or maybe he's going to get a Banana Fairy. That's also very possible. Because there's a really easy Banana Fairy here. Alright, Zoru just did what we call a ledge kick, or a boulder kick in this instance, because it's off a boulder. And it allows him to basically levitate into the air. He can grab that rainbow coin off the top of the pillar without needing to get the lanky skill that he usually needs. And he's the first into castle. It seems my chat might not be set up, so if they're saying anything, I can't actually see it. Okay, looks like Zoru's getting... Oh, we didn't get it. Okay. Yeah, the further into the game that the fairies are, the more erratic they get. So this fairy is really annoying. Okay, nice. Alright, and now Bismuth is also in Creepy Castle, so the team is back together again. I imagine one or both of them are going to be going to get their other comms soon. Yeah, looks like they're going to be doing Warp Q kick, which is just a moon kick off of this this little slope. No first tries from anybody yet. Not even from Znern. Oh, there we go. So there's Zoru gets it first, followed by Bismuth. Oh, and Znern as well. All three basically heading into cutout K. Rool at the same time. And of course, Zoru is attempting to phase walk through the wall again instead of doing a moon kick. For context, a moon kick is it's frame perfect, but I believe the phase walk is like 1/64th of a frame or something ridiculous. It's incredibly complicated. You have to do 3 frame perfect inputs in 1 second. So as you can see, they're just going to be entering the boss and then immediately exiting or shooting themselves into the cannons, because that actually unlocks the other characters.
Yeah, it's first, yes.
This saves time instead of having to do all the arbitrary mini games that you usually have to do to get the comms in 3 different levels. The goal they're probably going for first as well, because you've seen them collecting a lot of banana coins. They're probably going to be going for the 90 coins with 1 con goal first, before they do anything else. Alright. Jorge uses orange lag so he can clip inside of the tree. I imagine just like how he got the fairy earlier, Znern did. Okay. Alright, and he gets the fairy really, really quick. Good job on Jorge there. Making up a little bit of time.
Hey there. Do you think there is time for a donation?
Oh, go right ahead, yeah, for sure. They're just kind of getting set up for the rest of the run right now.
Awesome, thank you. So we've actually got a $25 donation from Cave Lighter, who was one of the runners from this marathon for Road Trip Adventure earlier, saying, "What a bingothon this has been so far, possibly even the best one yet. All of these runs have been incredible to watch, and I thoroughly enjoyed participating too. Putting this towards Vaporwave for the music bingo." Smiley face. And indeed, just as a brief reminder, one of the incentives we've got is for choosing the genre that will be made for the music bingo. So far the choices include house, lo-fi hip-hop, trap, and vaporwave. So that means now that there should be $5 for vaporwave, $5 for house, 11 for lo-fi hip-hop, and so far none for trap. So definitely get those donations in. It's amazing how far we've reached, so thank you everyone.
Okay, so it looks like right now... Oh, do you have another one?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, go right ahead, basically.
Alright, perfect. Yeah, no problem. So it looks like they're going to start buying some of their moves now. Bismuth is going to buy some moves with Diddy, same with Znern, and Zorulda is going to be buying some moves with Tiny. Probably the Monkey Port move, if I had to guess, because there's some warps in Crystal Caves that you can't get without being Tiny. Yeah, so this will be interesting. Or rather, just her barrel move, rather. Alright, so it looks like Znernicus is heading off to jetpack up to the top of the level. Yeah, so he's just going to be getting the dirt patch and heading out because he's doing some banana corn stuff. Well, same thing with Bismuth as well. Alright, so it looks like Znernicus is also going to be doing a ledge clip inside of the greenhouse. This is a little bit tricky, but it's one of the more forgiving ledge clips to get inside. Alright, and he gets it with some buffering. It's intended to be used with one of Likey's barrel moves, which makes him handstand at super speeds, but you can literally just walk to the end without much issue. I say as Nerd goes the wrong way off the start. Alright, now Jorge's going to get his gun with Lanky. And Zoru's chunky. He's just gonna sort of mass buy all his moves, I imagine.
So Lego and chat here would like to know, like, how would you evaluate this card as a bingo runner for Battleship, and how would you pick what goals to target and try to sink ships in here?
Right. So I think the big thing in terms of bingo is that it's not the most popular format. It only happens once in a blue moon. But the thing with most bingo cards in general is talking about synergy. Where can you go to do the most things in the least amount of places or with the least amount of cons? They're going to want to get as many goals as they can fast and just hope that the other team has picked that, or they may intentionally be going for the slower goals so they have an edge over the other team, so to speak. Like, there's a lot of meta when it comes to Battleship because it's all about prediction. Okay, it looks like Jorge and Zorulda are collecting their blueprints. They can. That's one of the goals, but they can also trade those away for golden bananas. I don't believe that's one of the goals, but yeah, they have a 13 banana goal for muffled baboon noises. So collecting blueprints is going to be really important for them. Let me actually resync with the chat. I'll refresh the multi-stream. Oh yeah, and I'll just go to Twitch. But in any case, this is going to be a lot of just collection right now. It looks like a Battle Crown on Bismuth's side, which is funky. Okay, so Bismuth's heading away from Creepy Castle. Whereas Jorge is heading over to DK Minecart. So he's obviously going to be doing that just to get the goal off the board. Oh, it looks like Zorulda was trying to get Diddy's. Oh, never mind. No, he just did a A warp. Never mind. Alright. Bismuth, meanwhile, is going to Japes first. He's not going to Factory or Galleon, so that might be Zoru's territory. Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like Bismuth's going to be doing a lot of coin collection. He's been going after a lot of the dirt patches, whereas Jorge's going after some of the faster goals. Oh no. Oh no, okay, he meant to do that. I thought Zoru missed the clip into Hideout Helm for some reason, but no, he's just going to Factory. Alright, another ferry capture for Zoru in the factory lobby. And Bismuth's getting a couple GBs in Japes right now. Japes is really fast in terms of golden bananas, so that's a pretty good goal to go for right off the bat, because it's very quick. Znernicus is buying some weapons. He's still in castle, so... Alright, and Zoru, actually, I believe he phase walked into factory early. He's going to be going for another one again to get through this wall. Okay, and there you go, he gets it. Alright, yeah, Znernicus is just shopping still. Looks like business shopping. He got his second battle crown. And Zoru's gonna get another blueprint. He may be going for 7 tiny blueprints, that corner right. Or bottom right corner, if I know how to speak. Okay. Alright. Zoru with another phase walk to go and get Chunky's blueprint. And yeah, I was about to say you could mark off Donkey Minecart GB. I think Bismuth's probably also going for T1 right now. Znernicus is going to be doing Fungi early, a series of moon kicks basically along the entirety of the island. Lets you get to the 5th level without unlocking the cannon. It's a very annoying trick, but really rewarding when you manage to pull it off. And it looks like he gets a first try. Nice. Zoru's meanwhile gone to Galleon, and Jorge's done chunky fall through vertical walls, or chunk through walls, to get into factory. All right, it looks like yeah. Okay, so Bismuth's going for a gun skew underwater. When you use a gun underwater, it actually locks your angle, which means that when you actually get back on land, you'll actually be inverted the same way that you were positioned while you were underwater. So now Bismuth is sideways, and his model being sideways means that he can walk through a lot of walls that don't recognize the collision properly. He's going to be using this to get some of these caged GBs, so you'll see him switch into Chunky right here. He'll walk through the cage door and get the golden banana without having to... if you ever play the game, you would normally have to hit like this little pad and then run over to the cage with the timer on it. He just needs to walk through the door instead. He's going to be doing the same here for Diddy, and I believe that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Japes.
Welcome to bonus stage.
All right, Jorge's going gambling. It's not real gambling, it has fruits, so... He's just gonna be, oh, there's the... Batty Barrel Bandit's really annoying. It's all just timing based, but... It feels much harder than it actually is. Alright, looks like Bismuth's gonna be going to Fungi as well now.
There is something I'm wondering about, which is about Battleship bingos in general. Is it fine if I ask you a question in that regard?
Sorry, one more time?
I just wanted to ask you, there was a question I had regarding Battleship bingos, and if it was fine for me to ask you a question.
I don't normally play Battleship bingos myself, but I might be able to answer, because I do play a lot of bingos.
Yeah, because something I was wondering, which I think is really interesting to observe, is, you know, as we go through the run, we might start to be able to form kind of what their long-term strats start to be, and I'm curious to see if that's something that's even answerable. How do you think each team will respond to each other's actions, like when seeing the bingo board being filled? Because I don't have... It's the first time I watch Battleship Bingo, but I'm thinking, for instance, how when you play something like Lockout, you really have to react.
You have to adapt, yes.
Yeah,
so
basically.
I think the thing with Battleship is you're kind of already set on what you want to do. It doesn't change the outcome of where your ships are, depending on where they end up checking. So you're sort of stuck in the routing that you want to do based on the card itself, as opposed to what ships you're doing. So I can't say that them marking anything is going to really change the decisions of another team, but it may sort of... it's possible that one of their team members tries to go to an area last second to try and claim a goal in case they think that that's a ship location. I'm not sure if that answered your question necessarily, but for the most part, it's going to be more. They're not going to stray from the routes that they were deciding.
I start to see. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It's just because it's such a long game. It's not like Mario 64 where every star can be gotten in, around a minute and a half. These are goals that take sometimes 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, when you have a massive game, each goal, will indeed take quite a lot longer, I suppose.
Alright, actually, Zoru's gone to caves. I didn't even notice. He's going to be doing some quick things, or trying to do some of the quick things in caves. Maybe activate all warps. And also 13 banana fairies. I imagine he came in here to get the banana fairy too. Bismuth is swimming through, emptiness in order to do another skew through this rose bush. There we are, and that's going to allow him to walk through walls again and get to the Warp 2 area, which otherwise he'd need 2 different kinds of guns. Oh, actually, no, he's just going to... Oh, no, yeah, okay. He's going to... There he goes. Alright. Wait. Yeah, he's just getting warps. That's good. Alright, and Jorge has now gotten monkey ports, so he may be headed off to Crystal Caves as well. I believe the Bismuth may be close to 300 total banana coins, but I'm not entirely sure. I'll watch his stream to see if he goes around getting more of those dirt patches before I'm sure, but he may be done or close to done. Well, so Znernicus is going to be doing the best golden banana in the game. Never mind, he's just getting bananas. Oh, I was so excited to see Rabbit Race, but... Okay. Yeah, so they're just basically collecting coins, collecting bananas. It looks like Jorge's doing a very specific GB, one of the easier GBs in Factory, or one of the fastest ones anyway. Perfect. Yeah, so he's getting 10 GBs. And Zorulda is out of caves. Interesting to see where he ends up going next. Well, it looks like he's going to Fungi too. I believe he got a Diddy Barrel earlier, so he may be doing DK Summit GB right now. Alright, he gets it first try. Nice. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. Oh no, he's getting the fairy here. Okay. This is probably the toughest fairy in the in the game. The one that... Oh. I think he's changing his mind. Okay. He's just going into Fungi now. Alright, that's fine. Okay, I might be having a little bit of stream lag, so if my responses seem delayed, I apologize. Jorge's doing one of the worst golden bananas in the game because this the wheel board thing, the hit detection on it is really bad. Even if you hit it right on the spot, sometimes it just doesn't work. But he gets it pretty clean, so that's not too bad. Okay. Jorge is learning how to count from 1 to 15, and it looks like people are Bismuth is playing as Lanky, which we in the DK64 community don't like Lanky. He's just really slow, and he messes up. We don't even like calling him Lanky. Or at least Tudos doesn't like calling him Lanky, so therefore we don't like calling him Lanky. That's usually how it goes. When Tudos says something's right, that means that it's just objectively correct. Okay. That's 5 GBs in factory for Jorge now. So we can take that goal off. Zoru's gone to Japes.
So you think that what do you think about so far? Do you think the players do have their strategy in mind, where they want to go to, what goals they want to shoot for, and that they already have like some places in mind? I mean, we see in here that we've got already a hit in here for Team 801 IQ. They already made a hit in here on the red ship,
on a donkey mine cart, yeah.
On the baboon noises. Yeah. So what do you think about that?
Yeah. So I think that right now, Zoru and Bismuth muffled baboon noises are in a slight lead. Jorge had a little bit of difficulty early in the game. He couldn't, I believe he couldn't get into Aztec, so he was a little bit slower on getting inside than the rest of the players. There, 801 IQ is also going for a lot of the longer goals, whereas it seems like Bismuth and Zoru are sort of splitting up their goals a little more evenly. Bismuth's going for like the longer goals. He's getting the crowns, he's getting the coins, whereas Zoru's sort of going for more of the specific GB. From what I've seen, the specific GB. So that's been a pretty good strategy so far. But 801 IQ is the first hit, so we're gonna have to see. I honestly think a lot of this is going to come down to when they choose to go into Helm, because Helm's one of the longer levels to get banana medals from. They have to do a bunch of mini games and go through a specific time section. And depending on if they do it with or without the necessary keys to go inside, it can take a lot longer. I'm also not sure. I didn't see Bismuth actually do Armadillo, so I think he actually may have skipped out on Q1. And it looks like Horhay's also just cashing in some blueprints right now. He may be going for 1 GB on each con, actually. Oh, and I believe, sorry, just 1 second. I believe Zoru went and got... Oh, no, he didn't. He just went into... He went to Fungi. Nobody's done DK Isles Summit GB just yet. Alright, Bismuth's going for Fungi, Baboon Blast. Oh, and he misses it! Oh no, now he's gonna... The Fungi Baboon Blast is one of the longest ones, too. That... Oh no, he just went for bananas, never mind. Okay, so he's got 200 bananas in Fungi Forest, so we can clear that off for muffled baboon noises.
So when they score a hit, they know, correct?
No, so we're actually doing this in a third card, so they can't actually see what we're marking off on their cards.
I see. So how do they? So they don't know.
Oh wait, no. So
when
they really shouldn't. I think they're doing some stuff in their own individual channels, but they shouldn't know their own tasks. Actually, okay, 1 second. Actually. Oh, there's 200 bananas in Fungi Forest and 100 bananas for any con in Fungi Forest. There we are. So that was a really valuable one for Bismuth to get, because he just took down 2 potential goals off the board.
So I'm guessing from what I can see that each Kong has a different way of moving fast throughout the throughout each level. Is that
yes,
right?
Each of them has a specific way that they can move faster. For the most part, it's going to be your running B attack, with the exception of actually no, sorry. Usually it's going to be your long jump. I believe just with Diddy, it's your running B attack is faster than his long jump.
That just because the game acceleration when you do that, or?
Yeah, just generally acceleration. You get more distance when you use those moves. DK's the exception because he also rolls. His roll is very, very fast as opposed to his long jump. He can get just like you can roll through lag and sometimes go through objects and stuff. So, but that's why they're constantly like long jumping or rolling. It's just to gain more speed and to make more distance in a shorter time frame.
Yeah, and you mentioned lag being so important. I remember I've watched, as I'm sure a lot of us have, Bismuth's video on the Donkey Kong 64 TAS, as well as some stuff by Ballium. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, who's made some great content as well about this game. Lag seems to be really critical on how to exploit it to be able to take advantage of it in engine. Do you want to explain a bit about how important lag?
Yeah, sure. So Bismuth and Ballium are sort of the main testers in the community, and they've made a lot of content that's really informative in terms of how this stuff works. But lag has been known since like basically the beginning of speedrunning of this game back in 2010. How the game developers and Nintendo decided to handle lag is that in order to combat the naturally just laggy graphics of the game, they sped up the Kongs to basically counteract it. So when there is any sort of lag produced by the game, the Kongs will move faster in order to so that it seems like you're moving at the same speed that you would without the lag. The problem is that you can use artificial lag in order to increase your speed and go through collision. So using orange grenade explosions are incredibly laggy. Going in through certain areas, especially such as Creepy Castle and Crystal Caves, they have a lot of assets and therefore a lot of lag. But it's mostly the use of orange clipping or clipping with specific camera angles through weak collision that allows us to go through places that you really weren't intended to go through in normal gameplay.
So that, there's moving into first person sets your angle in a certain way that the wall collision no longer works, and like walls have really poor collision as it is. It seems like it's true that out of bounds is really one of the easiest tricks to do in this game.
Yeah, it's been known for the longest time. You can buffer frames very easily in DK64, and you can clip through most collision, provided you just understand the inputs and the timings for everything. Locking your position is mostly only relevant in terms of like tag barrel storage, because when you enter that state, your camera is just locked by default. So that's a lot of stuff that's really only used TAS only, with the exception of some any % usage.
I see. So we wouldn't see like a tag barrel storage in Bingo.
No. That would be a lot much too complex for them to perform on stream, because, as you said, the camera's locked. They wouldn't be able to see anything. They'd have to be doing it specifically based on their knowledge of how to move in that state. Because every tag barrel, when you do tag barrel storage, you exit in a certain direction, and you have to hold in a certain direction in order to get to certain golden bananas, which requires setups and practice. And every time that there's a tag barrel storage based golden banana that you have to get, it usually takes some sort of setup, like with a piano room in Factory or the Helm Early trick that we use in any %.
Interesting. So in bingos, then, what sort of glitches are the most common to see? We've talked about like out of bounds and sort of inducing lag to be able to clip through objects, but are there any other sort of common glitches that a person who might want to run a Donkey Kong 64 bingo would need to know?
There's definitely some sort of need-to-know tricks. Orange clipping, as I said, being able to use orange clips either to damage yourself or to just slide yourself through walls is a must, especially on N64. Being able to moon kick, which in essence is just on some sort of slope, basically pressing A and B in quick enough succession that the game locks your upwards velocity for a fixed period and allows you to move upward. There's a lot of cases where you can actually go through walls or get to different areas you're not supposed to be just using moon kicks. Like I mentioned with the phone guy earlier, earlier he was just doing it on slopes. He was able to climb the entire mountain onto an island he shouldn't have. These runners shouldn't have had any reason to get to. Using frame perfect buffering ledge clips through ledges. And swimming through walls. These are all like pretty essential and pretty basic tricks. I've actually, like, when I first started speedrunning the game, I watched a run by Seafox at GDQ back in 2013, I believe, and within maybe 10 minutes, I was already swimming through walls and levitating into the air. So it's definitely a pretty user-friendly game if you want to get into it. But in terms of bingo, it just takes a lot of refinement of these basic tricks and knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, obviously anyone can pick up a controller and try the tricks themselves, but it takes some skill to put them together in the right way.
Mm-hmm. And not to mention a great deal of game knowledge as well. Each of these guys has put at least like near 100 hours into speedrunning this game alone. Not to mention bingo themselves. So they know where all these collectibles are, because at the end of the day, it's just a collectathon and knowing how to do certain bosses.
I'm curious because obviously this is one of Rareware's big N64 titles. Is there overlap between the Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie games and DK64 in terms of mechanics that would help? Would a discovery in one help the other, or are they too distinct?
Well, a lot of the speedrunners who actually did or do run DK64 also are involved in some way to the Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie sort of speedrunning community. So there is a little bit of crossover in terms of the genre, just in terms of collectathon. But I think that the games were built differently. They're mechanically differently. They have a different set of challenges that each runner has to kind of go through in different games. So I don't think they're necessarily too similar, even if they draw similar crowds.
Interesting. Yeah, I was just thinking towards like the 3D Fallout games, for instance, have a number of similar mechanics around out of bounds and sort of how they deal with people clipping out, sort of COC being the canonical example there. So I was curious if that was the same for Rareware's N64 titles. It sounds like that's not the case.
No, not quite. It's a very, very much a different engine. Like, even if you look at some of the stuff with Banjo-Kazooie, it's a different camera system. It's a different layout in terms of the collectibles. I mean, basically all the controls are completely different. Even if they are collectathons, they're sort of different breeds of games.
Cool stuff. So I think I see Zorulda and Jorge in Hideout Helm right now. Are they? What are they going for right now?
Yeah, so they're going to be going to get some of the Hideout Helm banana medal goals. I believe Zorulda's getting the chunky banana medal as we speak.
Yeah, that's a goal that they both identified as part of their battleships. I know you mentioned you don't run a ton of battleships, so I'm sorry for sort of trying to plum information out of you about that. But is there a particular reason why that goal might have been chosen by both of them?
Well, in general, the Helm banana medals are very cool in comparison to everything else. You kind of have to dedicate yourself to a long time in Hideout Helm, no matter what you do if you end up choosing them as a goal. So it makes sense that they would want to get it out of the way for themselves and to possibly counter another team. I believe Bismuth is also going for all warps in Angry Aztec as well, which is a pretty nice goal to get, because you have to clip through the wall, so it's better to get it done here. They may actually be coming up. Oh, it looks like he's actually very close to getting 90 coins with DK2. Okay.
So looking at what's left, it looks like Red's ship still has Chunky's banana medal, but it looks like Jorge's in progress to try to click that away. Both of them have not attempted DK Isle's Summit Golden Banana. There's Key 1 still available for muffled baboon noises to make a play for. You mentioned Bismuth was like in that area and just didn't end up doing it.
Yeah, he was in that area and he just kind of left. I think that he might have wanted to get more of the collectathon, getting more coins, getting more crowns done before he focused on key 1. Which I think he actually probably got the battle crown and fungi as well, so I can mark that off, but I'm not positive.
And then there's 200 bananas in Agri-Aztec and 90 coins with 1 Kong are the other goals still left. Oh, and 13 banana fairies, which 801 IQ still needs to get done.
Mm-hmm.
Is there
banana fairies is a longer one. No, you're fine. Please go ahead.
Sorry, no, I'm I've the only experience I've had is through, like you mentioned, Bismuth and Valium's wonderful videos, which I highly recommend anybody in chat who's curious about those games, check them out. They're, especially Valium's, it criminally underappreciated, I think, at least in terms of just raw view count, because the content he puts out is just so interesting. I'm thinking about 13 banana fairies because I'm aware that obviously a lot of those seem to be locked behind progression, or at least intended to be locked behind progression. Is there are they routing those in as they go along, or is there do they have to make a specific effort to get to banana fairies, or is it something you'll get sort of incidentally going for other goals?
They're definitely incidentally. Banana fairies in general is one of those longer tasks too. I believe. Let me think off the top of my head. There's 20 banana fairies in the game, so think about it that way. 13 banana fairies means you need to get,
over 65% of the available banana fairies.
Yeah, over 65. So there's 2 banana fairies in all of the sort of side levels, and 4 in the main DK Isles. So they definitely have to go out of their way and make sure that they go into those areas. Some of the levels obviously have better placement for fairies than others do, so they probably figured that out while they were doing their planning as well. Okay.
Looks like Jorge's grabbing one right now.
Yeah, that's actually that's the easiest fairy in the game. It's a backup in case we fail it's a backup in case we fail the Aztec early strat to get more oranges. Usually, back in those newbie days when you don't know how to do tricks anymore because you haven't played in 4 months.
Ah, those newbie days.
Okay, and it looks like we had to fall through vertical walls on Zorulda's side to get a DK Isles GB. I imagine that's how they're gonna finish off that goal, actually. 5 GBs in DK Isles, they're probably gonna go do Summit at the same time, so they can get both of them.
Makes sense, combine the 2 goals.
Okay, and it also looks like Znernicus is coming up on coins.
Yeah, seems to be confirming counts right now.
1, 2 Diddy. 5, 6, 7, 8. He's likely looking for 16 blueprints here. Because then he would get 7 tiny, 13 blueprints, and then 16 all at the same time. The only one that he needs is 13, so
but he
that's good on him. But exactly, he doesn't.
A little bit of an
that.
overachiever.
All right, what
So I
else?
see Jorge's grabbing Lanky's instrument.
Okay, interesting. He may be doing that. Is there any K-roll goals here? Or no?
I don't see any. Unless there's one that I'm just not seeing.
No, no, no. I think you're. It's probably for something else. Let me see. You don't need his instrument and helm, so that's a little confusing. Oh no, you need Lakey's instrument to do Summit GB. My apologies. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's going to do Summit GB right now.
Yeah, they need that, and it appears they need that 200 golden or 200 bananas in Angry Aztec and 90 coins with 1 Kong, I think. Oh, and 13 banana fairies.
Hmm. Yeah, there's still a great deal of goals that have yet to be done. I think someone was in Aztec earlier, so they may have actually gotten 200 bananas already, but we're going to need to check over that. I think it might have been Bismuth.
Yeah, he was spending a lot of time in there getting warps and the like, but he already has the 200 golden bananas in golden. They aren't golden, they're colored. And Angry Aztec,
okay, yes.
They already got that clicked away, so...
All right, never mind me then. It's still a little bit difficult to sort of keep up with it. They're making great time though at this point. 1 hour, and they only need a couple more things before they can just be fully done. 801 IQ may be going for yeah. So 801 IQ may be going for Q1 now, but they don't know that the Muffled Baboon Noises doesn't have that as a goal. It's only on their end. Oh, Bismuth almost drops, but he barely manages to make it.
It's a long way down.
And Jorge's going for Summit GB now as well. So they're going to be neck and neck in terms of actually getting it. Znern is getting a dirt patch in shapes, but apparently not. He's choosing not to do that instead. Jorge misses. Oh no, that's going to be a really long climb up. One of the more costly tricks if you fail it, sadly. I feel your pain, Jorge, especially with the boulder move that sets up your that messes up your setup a lot. I believe that Znern just got 90 coins with 1 Kong as well, so we can mark that off.
Yeah, he's trying to get a moon kick off that boulder, so that's why he has that there. But is it just positioned wrong or positioned in an awkward way?
Usually when you do that moon kick, it's right over top of the pad, so the height's a little bit different, just on the shape of the slope.
I see.
Alright, Jorge's back up again, second try. Oh, he gets the climb much better that time around. I believe Bismuth just went up and got Bismuth just went up and got Summit GB, yeah?
I think so, if that's the mini cane with the clap traps.
Yes, that was the claptrap one. Alright, perfect. So they're only key 1 away from sinking a ship right now.
Welcome to bonus stage.
It looks like Jorge's doing it too.
Yeah, that's really good. So it's gonna get marked off on both their ends.
Which I think does sink Muffled Baboon Noise's ship. They're 4 pip ship.
Yes, they would have a green on all 4 of them at that point, so that would sink the ship. All right, it looks like you did it. All right, perfect. And Jorge sinks the 4.
Yep, and that leaves the 2 and the 3, and they are 200 angry Aztec bananas and 13 fairies away from clinching victory. And it looks like Zorulda's getting key 1, I think, because that looks like Jungle Jape's boss.
Yes, that is Armadillo 1, which is for key 1. Okay, they messed up the colors a little bit, but they got it. Very nice. So Muffled Baboon Noises only has 2 more goals to go.
Yep, that sinks their 4. That sinks 801Q's 4 pip ship as well.
Mm-hmm. So now both 4s are gone. And Jorge and Jorge and Snur both also lose their 2, so they're only down to the 3, whereas Bismuth and Zorulda both have 2 ships left still. Although, I think it's actually down to 2 goals on both sides. 13 Banana Fairies and 200 Bananas and Angry Aztec on one end. And then 90 coins and 10 GBs on another.
I think also activate all warps in Crystal Caves for Muffled Baboon Noises. Because I think that's Team 801Q's 2 pip ship with Chunky's Banana Metal and Hideout Helm.
Yes, that's just unmarked. They actually marked it on their end already and said they sent their 2 in chat. So let me actually let me mark that. There we are.
So keep your eyes on the top side for any camera shenanigans and in Angry Aztec banana collecting, and eyes on the bottom for 90 coins and factory GBs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the bottom they're actually both in factory right now, and they're in Aztec on the top. So this is going to be really close.
So the co-op aspect, is it both of them together getting it, or is it on one file getting a particular goal?
No. It's on individual files, but they're both working the same board.
Yeah. So one person needs to get 90. They can't each get 45, is what.
No, they can't each get 45. No. Good question. It looks like Jorge's and Galleon getting a ferry. Okay, and he's just gonna leave the level. He's gonna be fairy hunting for the... Where's the second fairy in Galleon? Oh, yes, he's gonna be doing chunk through vertical walls again. Clipping into the pirate ship in order to take the picture through a cage. This banana fairy is also really weird. You have to take it underwater, and... Oh, well, Chunky's apparently too big to go through the gates. He's
Doing his best to try to clip through.
He's doing his best. Okay, it looks like he's giving up and switching Kongs.
A little too chunky for that hole. Tiny should work.
Oh yeah, well that's Tiny's hole originally, so... a little more befitting. This is not a one-size-fits-all ship. And it looks like Zoru got done with Snatch Stash. And he might be getting 5 GBs in Frantic Factory now for muffled baboon noises. Although that's not going to be the goal that he really needs. It's still something that they didn't seem to get off the board earlier. But yeah, keep your eye on Bismuth right now, because he may be going for 10 GBs in Factory. Oh, Factory, but I might have just invented the new insult Fractory when your run dies in Factory, so... that's... oh, god dang it, Fractory. Oh. Alright, and Znernicus just going up for more colored bananas. Oh, okay, and Jorge's going for key 1 now. He's gone back to Jesu key 1. Oh, 187. Znern is 13 bananas away from 200.
Have to switch Kongs. I think he was just confirming 200
Alright,
bananas
so they marked...
every Aztec.
Yep, they got 200 bananas now, so...
That leaves 13 fairies.
Yeah, it's just 13 banana fairies now. That's the only goal they need. And with how much they've been doing so far, it should actually be very close. Oh, wait, 1 second. Jorge's Nern. Oh, and it looks like... Yeah, so 1 goal each now, actually. 10 GBs in Frantic Factory and 13 banana fairies. Who's gonna get there first? Oh, and Jorge gets another one. I'm not sure how many Znern has at Jorge has at this point.
Yeah, and Zern seems to be covering their bases with Key 1.
Oh man, Bismuth only needs one more golden banana, and then they win the race. But I don't know how much Jorge needs. He's going to be going for the skew to get into painting room, but I don't know how many he has right now. Okay, he gets the skew. Now he needs to get back onto level ground. Oh, he goes into first person. Okay, no, he's just looking around. Good. Righting his camera. Oh. Oh, he loses the skew. Oh, okay. And it looks like this is going to be a win for Bismuth. Because he's getting the blueprint right now.
The 10th golden banana in Frantic Factory.
Yeah, that's a GG right there. Bismuth brought it home. Time, by the way, for muffled baboon noises. I don't know if they're going to be continuing through the run or if Jorge's going to finish it out.
Jorge's got to be close at this point.
Oh, he has to be close. Yeah, no, it might have just been within the span of a minute or so. Oh, he's going back. Very, very nice, Bismuth. Very nice finish.
Thank you. I have no idea how close the race was.
It was incredibly close, actually. Jorge just needed a fairy or two. So
yeah.
Right now he's in Jeeps finishing up in painting room. So I think it was within the span of about a minute.
Yeah,
or so.
if that's his last fairy, then
that
was pretty close.
Yeah, that's his. Yeah, it's pretty. Like he's doing on stream right now. He's doing the painting clip.
Right. Yeah, that was a good bingo. We had a lot of misses early on, but we were gathering a lot of information still.
Yeah, you didn't really have a lot to work with. You all kind of went to castle at the same time. It was a learning process along the way. I think one of the things that really sort of benefited you from the server was that you kind of took care of all the collectibles while Zora was doing a lot of the upgrades, getting ready to start collecting like blueprints and stuff.
Yeah, we figured that there was probably one of the two major coin goals, so I decided to go for coins and bananas, and he would go for the helm and blueprints and fairies. So that's like the main strategy we had from the get-go, and we also decided to go directly to fungi and Aztec, because those are like sort of usually in a bingo when we route things out. We go to Castle, Factory, Galleon, and then Japes, Caves, Fungi, Aztec. Like, Fungi and Aztec are almost always one of the later levels. So usually if you pick a boat, then you might want to go for Fungi stuff and hope that it just never gets found until like the really late game. So we decided to go for Fungi and Aztec at the beginning, so I went straight for those, and it kind of paid off. We got the 100 bananas for Nikong and Fungi and 200 in Aztecs golds. out of that.
Very nice, very nice. I think Jorge finished at around like 1:22:04 or something like that. It was a little bit late of a split, but honestly,
about 2 minutes.
considering it was less than 2 minutes, not too bad at all. Hey Jorge, that was actually, you guys were really close. You were on the last ferry as Bismuth was on the last GB, so
it was I'm not happy with my decision to go for skew there. I should have just trusted my phase walks with Lanky and gone for it. But
Good race, guys. It was really close.
that was a really close race.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. That's like one of the best I've ever played as far as a bingo goes.
I was shocked
honestly,
how
really
fast the
surprised.
blueprint goals were coming in from you guys.
I was really shocked at how fast you did 7 tiny blueprints. I was like, you did mark it like 1 level early, but I was like, are you really done this early on?
Yeah, I was wondering the same. Like, don't you have to go to like every level pretty much to get that done?
Yeah, but the thing was, I really prioritized those blueprints. Like, I didn't have the thing I was doing was like GBs, blueprints, and fairies. So really, once I had my fairies planned out, the rest was just like figuring out which extra blueprints I was going to get, because I had the 7 from Tiny, the 5 from Chunky, then I only needed 4 more, 1 from Donkey Kong and Aztec, 1 from Donkey Kong and Castle, 1 from Lanky in Castle, and 1 with Lanky in what do you call it?
Some other level.
Caves, maybe, when you're
It
doing all
was-
work.
Yeah, it was
4
James.
of them. All 4 of them ended up being misses, though. But it did give us a lot of info. I think at some point, like around let's say 50, 55 minutes in, maybe an hour, you guys had more hits than we did, but we had so many different like goals everywhere that the second we hit all 3 of your boats, we pretty much knew exactly what goals we had to do to finish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, whereas we got more hits early, but we weren't sure how the end of the vote would turn out.
Mhm.
I think one of the biggest time sinks that we did was me deciding to go for Lanky Metal, because it's sort of like you assume that they aren't going to do the synergy play, but it's always a good thing to check. But that took up quite a few minutes.
Hey man, if we did pick Lanky Metal and Helm, you would have been screwed if you didn't.
Yeah,
do it.
and if we'd skipped it, it's like,
Right.
Yeah, we got to the point where we knew for pretty much a fact that it wasn't one of your choices when Zorulda was in Helm. So that
It
helped
was
us a lot.
really clutch. Like, you figured it out.
Oh, wow.
Like midway through Helm.
Yeah, I think it's when you got Chunky's medal in Helm that sealed the deal. Then Lanky couldn't be a goal, pretty much.
Yep.
That does help for you guys. Yeah, we were worried that maybe your 2 ship would be like Lanky's Metal and Helm and 7 Tiny Blueprints or something like that. So we at the time couldn't skip it. But yeah, I did the fungi goals very early on, like right after getting all the Kongs.
Yep, that was
same.
That early hit.
We were doing the same thing. Did you do Castle Crown as well?
Yeah, I did.
So we did the same thing, but you were like 15 seconds ahead of me.
Yeah, I noticed that goal got marked from both of us like 5 seconds apart. And yeah, it took me a while to like clean up on the 90 coins with 1 Kong. I was kind of going around to every level, picking up blueprints and getting coins and doing various goals like the fungi bananas, the Aztec. Well, the Aztec bananas I was doing at the very end. I wish I had done them a little sooner, but I don't know if it would have mattered. I think the one way that we could have won, even not knowing like more information, was if I did Summit GB. That was probably the biggest goal split mistake between us.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because I think Jorge, you fell on
I missed
early, and that cost you about a minute.
Yeah.
It's like the way Bismuth and I like broke up our goals, like we were very like active and like conscious the entire time, like switching goals back and forth if we really needed to. Like there were some solid goals we had in mind, but like some of it we really just like left until we really felt like doing it, like 5 GBs and DK Isles. Like at some point Bismuth was just like, okay, I should probably do this now.
Yeah, that was going to be like the one I would go for if 200 in Aztec somehow didn't hit. But
Yeah.
at that point, we were pretty sure it would.
I was about to comment on how Jorge actually, like, it was a really smart choice to go for DK Minecart GB right at the start, because one team did and the other team didn't. So that possibly could have been something that, like, when you decided that you wanted to go that way, could have won you the game, but in the end it didn't. So,
And that's what
Yeah.
I was telling Bismuth, like when we started, I was telling him, like, we need to make some ballsy decisions. Like, if we want to like get a leg up, like ballsy decisions have to be made. And Donkey Minecart GB was definitely one of them. We were just like, hey, we could really just come back to it if we have to. But it was
Yeah,
kind of
we
scary
just-
at
We didn't really find a way for us to fit it into our boat, but you guys did. So it paid off that you skipped it.
well, yeah, I mean, it was a thing. My commentary, like Lego and I were talking about how Bismuth kind of basically just skipped over doing Key 1 the first time he came to Japes. I think you guys went into Japes 3 or 4 times before you even fought Armadillo. So was it just like too out of the way and you were trying to get more collectibles and focus on that, or was it just
Key 1
something
is
that
one of
you
those
didn't think
goals,
about, that you
like-
figured it was so fast it wouldn't have worried about it?
Exactly. It's a fast.
The thing with those goals that like you have to do one thing is it doesn't really take much time to do it at any point in the bingo. So it's better to do it when you know you have to do it, and to get information on whether you have to do it or not based on all these other goals that you get along the way that you may or may not need. And that's how we figured out that, like, the second we knew that we sunk their 2 ship with the all warps and caves, that told us exactly what we needed to know, that Key 1 was part of the 4 and that we needed to do it. And that at that point, it wasn't a big investment to go back to Japes. It's like 30 seconds.
The only thing we would have done is I would have done the Frantic Factory GBs and he would have done Key 1. But we did it the opposite.
Yeah, you did so it cost you a little bit of time because Bismuth had to backtrack and.
So Bismuth, by the time
And
you got
do
10
more.
GBs, I had 8.
Yeah, it would have been like a minute and a half, maybe faster, if you had started factory right away, because you would have been there like a minute and a half before me.
You told me to get Key 1 when I was like right next to factory.
Mhm.
But I was
Speaking
like,
of going for balls,
We were just holding our breath at the end, hoping that you weren't that close in factory, as Jorge was like on his 12th ferry, basically.
yeah. Speaking of ballsy plays, Zoru, do you think that you going for phase walks every single time cost you more time than just moon kicking through the wall? I know you like to phase walk, but do you think it was actually a detriment here, or did it work out?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I definitely had like a
It
slight
was.
off day with my phase walks today. But even then, I still think I saved time over just doing the moon kicks. It really comes in handy, especially for Castle Kongs, because you save like a really, really good amount of time if you get like first or second try phase walks in and like into cutout over and over again.
Yeah. If you can pull it off, then it's definitely faster. I noticed that you phase walked into like what was it in Aztec earlier to get through the door without DK's gun.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
So that's common. That's like basically common practice now, as far as people who like do phase walking. Like we used to do the OLAG there, and like we still do. It's just at this point, it's like more conservative to do the phase walking there. Just like if you want to hold on to your oranges. Like for example, if I did
I
like
think it's just yeah, no, that makes sense. I was just gonna make a joke of saying you can blame it on VC differences or something like. Oh, boo-hoo, all the VC people, they can phase walk. What's the problem?
Oh man, but yeah, that was such a good race for a Battleship game.
Oh man, that was close. I'm glad that this one was
That was
definitely
really
a lot
close.
closer than our practice run had been.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm happy it was close.
I want to point out that I did not turn on story skip in our last one.
Yeah, I noticed
Oh my
that like sort of
goodness.
midway
Oh,
through,
no.
I
you
literally
exited
lost
the
so
menu
many.
and was like, "I'm gonna turn on story skip," and I was like, "Oh no."
No, he meant
Oh.
in the practice run. You have to return it on when you reset, but
Oh, I had no idea.
in the
Yeah.
practice run, we started and he didn't have story skip. So
Although to be
yeah.
fair, in our practice run, Jorge forgot key 5 and had to go back to Aztec, and we won that
Yeah,
one.
that was.
So
I made sure to remember T5 this time for sure.
All right, but in the last one, I didn't even have a controller and we lost, so that's why.
I don't know. I don't want to know how that works.
Wait, you didn't even have a controller?
I was just trying to one up you.
Oh, okay. Joke's on you. I didn't. I only had half a cartridge. I was gonna run, but my
I didn't
cartridge.
have the
My
expansion
dog ate
pack.
my cartridge. Oh,
Oh,
you didn't have.
no.
You didn't have the expansion pack.
Oh man. So
So I have a- sorry.
I was just gonna ask Zorulda, what is your strategy for chunky metal and helm? Do you just do the fall through vertical walls and then die and go back in
Yep.
so that you can get that's the standard practice.
That's literally the best way to do it. You could technically actually there's a really intelligent way to do it that I just thought of. You could gain height on the switch using Chunky if you phase walk out, and then you could do the rest of, and then you can get to Chunky. You can get to his barrels a lot faster. I just thought of that. That would have been so much faster.
I had a sporadic, like, I don't even know what I was thinking. It's like some sort of brain explosion. But while I was going to go get the fairies at the end of Helm, I backflipped up to gain height on Chunky's room and decided to do one of Chunky's barrels as DK. So I ended up doing his gun barrel with Donkey Kong, which didn't lose me time, but I don't think was a particularly wise decision in the long run.
Sounds like it was fun though.
It was.
Well,
it was
well, I
certainly
think it.
something.
Yeah. I think it. Lego, the other person who was helping me to co-host, he was making reference to. Actually, no. Who was it? Somebody else who was in call earlier was making reference. Actually, I think it was Pika, talking about the length that you planned out your routes, and talking about how, like, Zorulda, you spent maybe a good 4 or 5 minutes in Castle just getting like homing ammo and getting all the necessary upgrades that you needed in order to do stuff like caves, in order to do stuff in fungi, in order to do like Lanky's metal and Chunky's helm. So do you think that you optimized that well enough as a team and kind of split the duties sort of like right down the middle, or do you think one person did more on each of your teams? Like,
No.
I know that usually Bismuth and Znern are like the stronger runners between the two of you, but do you think it was pretty even on this occasion in particular?
that was actually the thing that I felt Jorge and I improved upon the most from our run last week. Last week, I finished my goals like at least like 5 minutes, maybe almost 10 minutes before Jorge was able to finish the last one of his, and it was a long goal, and we had a lot of sort of lost time that we could have had, where I had to sort of race him on a long goal at the end. This time around, we both were finishing up the final goals around the same time.
Yeah.
So at least in terms of like just overall amount of time spent by each of us, I think we did better. I think it was just the fact that we did some longer goals or like some goals that didn't synergize as well within each other that maybe wasn't as good this time around. But it's tough to get a balance right on both sides because you obviously want to synergize the individual person's goals as much as possible, but you don't want to end up with one person stuck and have nothing to do at the end.
Exactly.
That was one of the things I was concerned about at the beginning, because like right off the bat, Znern was like, "Okay, I'll get all the blueprints, I'll get bananas, and he was getting coins, he was getting all sorts of things, and I'd taken Helm and
13
fairies as my goals.
Right, but you know how long that 13 fairies goal takes.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
really
it's
long
like,
one.
Yeah, and halfway through we
Oh,
split
gosh,
up.
yeah.
We gave me the 10 GBs in factory because he was originally going to do that, but that synergized decently well with fairies, luckily.
Right.
Yeah, because the fairies in factory are some of the easier fairies in the game in general. So it makes sense that you would be spending your time, like in terms of like the easy banana locations and the easy fairy locations. They kind of do line up like pretty well.
Yeah.
Whereas
Some
some
fairies
fairies in
you'll
other
actually-
areas, like
You'll have to get like a GB, or there will be a GB in the same room as the fairy in many cases.
So I'm curious,
Mhm.
what were your GB choices in factory? Whoever did that for
That was Bismuth.
Yeah, I went for 3 blueprints: Diddy, Tiny, and Chunky. And I did like opened the cage as I entered the level, did Lanky's production room, and Beaver Bother, Dark Room, 16 number game, and that other one, Batty Barrel Bandit. That's pretty much it.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I ended up getting 4 blueprints for that just because I was worried if I had to do both helm medals, that if I didn't have a few blueprints that I would run out of time.
Oh yeah, he actually turned in a few blueprints for that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I think you guys definitely played it a lot safer this time.
We
I
did.
think
Yeah,
We didn't
yeah.
play
honestly
very
made a
risky.
difference. Like we absolutely played like riskier, but we also like were able to get a lot of the like vital goals done earlier on, so we had a better picture of like what
Yeah.
risks were worth taking, right?
You really pinned down our ships pretty quick. At the end, Znern and I were still concerned that perhaps all warps in Aztec could have been on the table still.
Yeah, I was like,
we were betting on 13 blueprints.
Dude, I'm so glad we like read your guys' movements like perfectly at the beginning. We were like, okay, like we're not gonna go and tag the warps in Aztec, so they're not gonna tag the warps in Aztec. And I was just trying to think, like, based on what you guys did last time, like, yeah, like this is something you could reasonably come back to, which means they probably wouldn't do 200 bananas in Angry Aztec immediately.
you
Yeah.
can't.
Well,
I mean,
you can't
could, but
You straight up can't.
that would be a really tough goal to do on your first visit, unless you did organic Kongs.
Yeah, very true. And this could
Which-
have been a pretty decent, or like if one person did organic, one person did castle Kongs. I think this would have been pretty. This would have been pretty.
I
Good
considered
for them.
it. I actually
Yeah.
I did consider it, but I ultimately figured like it wasn't going to give us enough information for
Yeah,
the
I
amount of
think-
time that you spend.
I think
Although
it
I don't
would-
know, maybe if we would have got that 200 Aztec hit a lot earlier, who knows?
Yeah. Of course, hindsight is 2020, as they say.
Yeah.
But I think the best-
2020, it's like the year.
Yeah.
I think the best possible thing could have been if I had gone back to Aztec, perhaps, and gotten 200 bananas and an extra fairy. Then that could have saved time on fairies as well.
Oh, because you did not get the Llama Temple Fairy.
Because I did
right.
not get the Llama Temple fairy. I could have
did that
that
one.
Oh, you didn't get.
That could have been a game changer as well.
I didn't do
I
it either.
grabbed
Brett.
that. Yeah, it's like
I was
so
actually
far out of the
pleasantly
way.
surprised because I know Jorge. I knew you were actually going in that direction, but did you just went to get guns? I imagine.
I did just get the gun. I
Oh.
think I was originally going to get it.
You were gonna
and
get the fairy. I
may
thought you
have- I may have
did.
forgotten. No, I didn't.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. I thought because you were asking me, should you
Oh,
free
yeah.
Lanky? And I was like, well, you're going in there for the fairy. But like, I was saying, yeah, you should. I don't know what happened. Oh well.
I think we agreed that if one of us had to come back for warps and 200 bananas, then we could just do that.
Yeah, we were kind of on the fence. I wasn't really sure.
And wouldn't. Yeah, the fairies was a toss up. Yeah.
Yeah, we were kind of
Fairies are
struggling to
always a
think of
toss-up.
the best fairies
for
for the end
sure.
of the bingo.
Fairies are definitely one of the tougher things to go for.
I was glad that like my fairies like lined up very well like near the end. I did have to go back to Fungi Lobby just to get that one ferry.
I'm glad Znern reminded me. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
literally
I just hope I reminded you at a time where you didn't already do Funga early and then had to do it again.
No.
You were currently up
I
there.
was exiting Summit GB at that point.
Oh, okay, so you still had your
Unfortunately, I'd
rocket barrel and
forgotten.
just flew back to the lobby.
Mhm.
I see.
Unfortunately, I'd forgotten Lenky's instrument when I was in factory buying moves the first time, so that lost me a solid minute having to run back in to factory to grab that.
Mhm.
This time I
Um,
actually like wrote down notes and stuff. So like I had like all my like ferries planned out already. So like I did
yeah, I
like
might actually start doing that.
it was helpful for the ferries, I'll say that much. I didn't really care for it for blueprints because we already knew where we needed to go for blueprints. We just
Yeah,
needed to
yeah.
add 4 more.
Yeah, I nowadays I almost always take notes. I just gotta say I didn't do it this time. I didn't take any notes. And when I got 100 bananas for DK and fungi, I also had exactly 200. I just want to point that out.
Wow, that is
Nice.
That
impressive.
blew my
Wow.
mind, dude. I don't know how you did.
I probably
I thought
should
it was
have.
like 180 or something.
I didn't really take notes, but I should have done that for blueprints at least, because I was sort of like, it had been the point where I was like in my 5th or 6th level, and I was like, I probably already have 13 blueprints, but I just never like counted them along the way. So I had to check the pause menus, and I was like, oh, I already have 16, and I didn't even know.
Yeah, yeah. It might have been if we had marked 13 blueprints quicker, it could have been helpful.
Yeah, that might have
Um,
actually saved you from doing Lanky Metal and Helm,
yeah,
depending. I'm not really sure what the timing was.
yeah.
I think it's interesting that that's like part of the gameplay though, right? Like you need to be on top of the goals that you're doing. Like for example, 1 GB on each Kong, like at some
Oh
point
yeah, I had like no idea when we completed that.
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting at.
Well, in fact, like that's funny because during our practice run, my regular route is to go from castle to factory. But I actually ran to Galleon lobby to grab a chunky blueprint before I went to factory, just so that I could get 3 chunky blueprints as quickly as possible. Just because the information was more valuable than the time that it lost. Just going out of your way. So I think that's definitely an interesting thing that not many other bingos have in them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Battleship Bingo feels like such a unique format, especially to watch and to think about routing in. What I'm most curious about is your goal selection for your ships. Could you walk me through how you sort of evaluated this card for what
Oh,
goals
sure.
you wanted to select for your ships?
Yeah, so I mean, the first thing I do when we get any card is like find the 5 longest goals. In that they'll always have a configuration of like being a knight's move away. So on this board, it's the center square, 90 coins with 1 Kong, 300 total banana coins up and to the right, Lanky's Metal and Helm down right, Chunky's Metal and Helm on the top left, 13 banana fairies on the bottom left. So out of those 5 goals, I usually check to see if like any of them are kind of overlapping. In this case, yeah, like 300 total and 90 coins with 1 Kong. Those are very much like overlapped. Like you'd always
And
get
also
300 total.
like
And the 2 metals and helm also kind of go together. And on this board, you kind of start looking for the number of longest goals that you can try to include that don't overlap too much with other goals. So like the way we placed our boats was actually to like not include any of those blueprint goals because there were so many. There was like 5 chunky blueprints, 7 tiny blueprints, 13 and 16 blueprints. So we were like, it's like there's so much overlap there that we thought we don't really need to try to put those in our boats and rather try to put things that don't overlap with anything else on the board, like all warps and caves and decal summit GB. Even though those goals are not super long, like after you pick enough long goals in your boats, I tend to try to pick things that just don't synergize with anything else on the board.
Bismuth, I know you were trying to sort of talk earlier. Do you
Yeah,
have anything
Bismuth
to
might have a
add,
different
or-
strategy.
Well, the way we looked at it, we obviously select the 5 longest goals first and look for those. And then Zorulda brought a good idea. One thing that we didn't really think of last time and it kind of burned us is when you pick the boats, it's a good idea to try to go for things that are not really immediately obvious. Like the back half of the levels, like fungi and Aztec and caves in general, are done later than factory, galleon, castle, depending on the goal. So, and Japes is also a pretty early level. So in Battleship, it's generally good to select more of those fungi Aztec goals than you would normally, I guess. So we tried to aim for those. So that's why we picked 200 bananas in fungi and in Aztec. And then the other thing we did is we tried to include we had Donkey Minecart GB in mind, and we also tried to place our boats in such a way that they wouldn't always be immediately obvious when you start hitting them. Like the 4 and the 2 being next to each other could mean like the 3 and something else was on the bottom if you got those goals first. Yeah, that's pretty much. The second we saw like this boat arrangement, we liked all the goals set and we knew it was good.
Yeah, it was
So,
really clutch to find our 4 boat. I think that was a
Sorry.
really solid 4 boat.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Just have a little quick announcement to make for all the viewers who are currently watching. Because due to unforeseen issues with the schedule, we are now putting some more Donkey Kong action directly following this run and that very deep and detailed interview. Because now we're going to see a little glitch exhibition of Donkey Kong. So as such, we'll quickly go for a little intermission here, and then you get to see another Donkey Kong glitch showcase. And with that, I'd say thank you very much for the race, and I'm looking forward to seeing you folks run again.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thanks
it
for
was
having
good.
us.
Yeah.
All right, in that
And here we're back with a last minute run of Bingothon after this amazing Donkey Kong Country. It's too late right now. I mean, Donkey Kong 64, of course. Battleship Bingo, which is a super exciting variation of a bingo. We're now going to see a little glitch exhibition from that very game. So I would say let's not wait any longer, and without further ado, take it away.
All right, so I'm Znernicus, one of the runners that just played, and I will show a few glitches for you guys. You might have seen this during the bingo, but I'm going to make my way up to Fungi Forest, which is floating up high in the sky, and normally you need key 4 to get there, but we can do a series of moon kicks, which is just like interrupting your aerial attack with a kick. And you can do that several times to reach higher and higher on the mountain. Now, like on the forehead of DK's Isle Mountain. And this last moon kick should land me on the slope up here. And with a little bit of a well-timed jump, now we get across. So that's some moon kicks for you guys, but we have a lot more of glitches in this game. You can get past any B locker pretty much. Well, not all of them, but most of them by just turning your back, doing a couple of slaps into the corner. And that's how we get to pretty much all the levels without the golden banana requirements, which is great for bingos, because since you can basically break into every level early, it really helps the bingo format in this game. I forgot I turned it to nighttime. I don't actually want it to be nighttime for this trick. So I'm just going to show off a couple of cool glitches that can be used in combination with each other to get some golden bananas in Fungi Forest quickly. That it's used for the 101% speedrun. It's probably the single biggest golden banana, or it's definitely the most recent, but also one of the biggest time savers in 101 in the last couple of years. It starts with a tag barrel storage, which is a glitch that basically gives you control of the Kong while the tag barrel is while it looks like you're in the tag barrel. So what I've done just there is skid jumped, and precisely on the right frame that I entered the tag barrel, I pressed B to get in a rank stand animation in midair as I was entering the barrel. So now I have control of Lanky outside the barrel. Now my goal is to navigate out of bounds from here and make my way to the area where the rabbit race is, but I can't see where I'm going. So I have to count my steps and hope that I reach it accurately. But if I do that, the golden banana that's down there will still be spawned. Even though I haven't completed the rabbit race, this game, for whatever reason, many golden bananas that spawn from minigames are always there until you go and load the area that they're in, and then the game will check to see if you've done the minigame or whatever, and it'll deload the GB. So I'm going to, but by locking the camera on the tag barrel, basically you can reach the golden banana without loading the area. So I'm going to try this. Wait, oh, I messed that up, but I can just start again. I forgot that I can't press B while a Kong is selected in the tag barrel, or else it will just tag them. Okay, here we go. Three, 6, 9, 11, 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Okay. Okay, I should be near the GB now. Aha! All right, so I managed to walk all the way underneath the floor directly to this carrot, which is where the rabbit will race you, and that's where the gold banana was sitting. So, but anyways, that's just the first part of this exhibition here. Now that I have played my instrument to restore vision, and I'm able to move around again. You can't actually see my Kong, but I can still tell where I'm going. The cool thing is that although I have already now skipped the rabbit race, which is a very long minigame, I can actually use this tag rail storage to help me initiate another trick. As you can see here, I've returned now to where the tag barrel is. You can actually see the Kongs, and I'm still controlling the tag barrel with my joystick movements, right? And I still have to be careful not to tag a Kong unless I'm ready to use them, So let's leave that. Once you leave the radius of the tag barrel, you can you can safely act and all that stuff and tag other Kongs. What I've done here is enter first person as I'm diving. This allows you to dive with your gun out. You can also use the very widely used swim through vertical walls or phase swimming glitch to get out of bounds. The reason I had my gun out is that if you pull your gun out in this state, it will put your Kong, it will keep the basically it'll keep the same alignment that you had in the water, but on land. So you can skew your Kong like this. And what this does is it removes the collision against walls, because basically your hitbox is skewed 90 degrees. So now we can just like fly straight through walls like this. But that's not all. Remember that tag barrel we set up? Well, what happens if you tag another Kong while you're using the rocket barrel? That's right. You can now rocket barrel with Tiny or any other Kong. Why would we want to do this? Why have I done this ridiculous set of glitches to get Tiny in a rocket barrel and skewed? It's because there's a golden banana on the other side of this wall. And it's very high up. And we got it. That is the Beanstalk Skip. You actually can't fly up any higher than this once you're in this area. So I had to come from another area of the level through the wall to get enough height to actually reach that. And you may have noticed that I was dropping very fast as I did it. The game is sort of trying to correct your height back to the ceiling of this area. So you only really have, that one shot to grab it as you're falling. So it's pretty cool. Wonder what else is worth showing here. I mean, I still got skew. I guess that could be it, but do we want to fill more time? Should I show more things?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, then I think what I'll do is just let me go to turn on infinite crystals, because I want to show something that would be easier to do once I have infinite crystals. And that is ultra lag. In this case, I guess ultra lag and japes. No, actually, I'll do ultra lag and DK Isles.
You mentioned that you still had skew. After that, does skew persist through like warp panels or loading zones, or what cancels skew?
Yeah, what cancels skew? So if you just do like a standard jump, it cancels skew. So you have to be careful with your movement. But the main thing is that the loading zones cancel skew. So it's only useful in sort of like a hub area. But you can tag other Kongs, keep it. You can use the warp pads and keep it. So it's overall very useful. And I'd say like we use skew many times in 101, no levels early, pretty much any category where you're like visiting a lot of levels. But okay, let's go and do what's known as ultra lag, which involves a boulder. So what we've got to do is kind of deload the boulder in such a way that the game thinks Chunky is still going to be holding the boulder, even though he isn't. We can do that by grabbing the boulder up against the wall, the animation of grabbing the boulder pushes you back, and that can clip you out of bounds. And then once you enter the water, the boulder is just stuck there. But since we went directly into a swimming state, the game is still going to think that I've got the boulder in my hands once I jump back on the land, even though I don't. And a side effect of this is that while I'm walking around with an empty boulder, the game will perform a lot of unresolved collision checks in memory, or rather that will not get cleared from memory properly. So what I'm going to do is essentially just fill up part of the game's RAM by walking around with an empty boulder. This is going to look very silly, but if you pay attention to the frame rate that the game is running at, and you may start to see that it will be degrading quite a bit. I'm going to probably do this for like, I don't know, 2 minutes.
So are you filling up sort of these regions in memory, which is causing the game to think it has more objects loaded?
Yeah, kind of. It's like, it's not necessarily that it has more objects loaded, and honestly, Tassos can explain this better than I can. Like Ring Rush, I think, or Bellum would be the best resources for sort of DK64 science. But my understanding of their research is that there's a bunch of collisions that the game is trying to perform between a boulder and all this other stuff. Just checking, like sort of once per frame, like okay, is the object colliding with anything? And because the boulder is not loaded right now, it's somewhere else in the map and it's unloaded. Those collision checks are taking up memory, but they're not being the memory is not being freed up again. And you might be able to notice at this point the obvious amount of frame rate slowdown. And this game is quite laggy in some areas, and the game has a great way of compensating for lag, so that it doesn't feel like you're playing a very laggy game. They simply take the lag frames and extrapolate your Kong's movement speed in the horizontal direction at least, to sort of try to mimic the same real-time speed, which means that you're essentially moving more units per frame in the game. And because we can build up lag to a ridiculous amount, we can really abuse this. Okay, this might be at a point where I can do the rest of the trick. Probably is. So I'm going to drop the invisible boulder. We still have this ultra lag so long as I don't go back to where that boulder was stored. And this game, when you throw oranges, that will increase the amount of lag. So just as an example here, I'm going to do a long jump. Those oranges will explode, and you can see how far you get to move. So this can be used to basically clear like ridiculous amount of gaps. And the trick that I want to show with this is a special type of moon kick known as solar kick. And you will see why we call it that in just a second. I'm actually going to do fungi early again. The interesting thing about ultra lag is that the game actually still runs fairly smoothly in low lag environments, like right now. It's only when you sort of encounter certain areas where the game is naturally laggy, that lag gets multiplied to a ridiculous extent. Alright, so with that mooncake, we have now made it to the top of DK Isles. And the sun, or the lens flare from the sun, happens to be one of those things that just slows the game down a little bit. But since that effect is amplified, if I can get the timing of this jump right. Oh, come on. We can actually use this. Come on, DK. The lag makes it actually very tough to get a aerial tech to register, because the game's still basically eating my inputs. Oh my god. Can I get a mooncake, please? No. That was a regular kick. But you have so much time to turn around in the air. That's a mooncake. All right, here we go. We're flying. We're going all the way across the world. And we made it. All right, that's solar kick. Hope you guys enjoyed.
That is a fitting finish and finale for this glitch exhibition. Thank you so much for the spontaneous run. Thank you so much for the spontaneous. And I hope that the viewers also enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And absolute fantastic commentary, fantastic explanations. What more could you ask for? So
I was happy to do it. Thanks for having us on this year again. It's always fun.
I guess if anybody
Always a
now,
pleasure.
watched that and found an itch that they want to scratch about maybe learning some of these glitches themselves for using them in runs, I guess they get in touch with you in the community and get going.
Definitely get in touch with the DK64 speedrunning Discord. Do you mind if I drop a Discord link in the chat?
Go for it.
All right. Let's see if I can actually figure out how to do that.
Okay.
I'm not that well versed in Discord, but I'm pretty sure there's an invite link somewhere. Sorry. How do you grab an invite link for Discord again?
Depends on the server.
There's
Sometimes
a
it's linked in like
server.
announcements or something like that.
Yeah, you can use the drop down on the bottom on the top left arrow in the server and then invite people. Sorry, it's really early in the morning. My brain is not working at full capacity. I'm doing my my very best. All right, so you'll drop a link in the chat.
I'll drop the link.
Interested. Thank you so much for the spontaneous run. We're going to intermission really quick because the next run that we're going to show is going to be the Resident Evil run. And we are very excited about that. Yeah, the Resident Evil HD Remaster Randomizer Single Bingo. Stay tuned.
Nothing feels better than the sleeping secular speed of art keeps out there. Like, I remember heaven speed nice. But it's just a memory now, just a faded memory. But that can bring you down, you know?
Hope you guys are enjoying your evening or morning, wherever you are in the world. You're watching Bingothon Winter 2020. That was just DK64 Battleship Bingo plus a glitch showcase. We were going to have Psychonauts, but unfortunately the runner could not make it, so we're skipping right ahead to Resident Evil HD Remaster, a randomizer single bingo with SpandyTube in just a few short minutes. But as a reminder, Bingothon Winter 2020 is here supporting Fred Hutch, a research institute located in Seattle, Washington in the United States, focused on researching life-saving cures for cancer, HIV, viral infections, and most recently, COVID-19. They do a lot of really great work. We've raised nearly $1,530 so far, and I'm hoping we can push onwards to $1,600 over the rest of our shift. So if you're able to, no times are tough right now, please give generously. But even if you can't, your presence here, joining us on this wonderful Saturday night or Sunday morning is more than enough. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate your spending your time with us this evening. We have a couple of incentives that you may wish to put your dollars towards. After the Yoko's Island Express, which will be after Resident Evil, there will be a Worms Armageddon Blackout Bingo, and you can potentially name these worms. We've got lots of fantastic names so far, including Baguette and Scarmony, but lots of names are sitting at $1. So with a small donation, a small gift, a small chance for Fred Hutch to receive your money, you could potentially get whatever name you want to show up as part of the Worms Armageddon Blackout Bingo. There's also the Music Bingo genre incentive. Currently, Vaporwave, I believe, is well in the lead, at least last time I checked. May not be reflecting all that well on our dashboards, but I know that I put $20 towards Vaporwave. And there's a Terraria Christmas costume incentive as well. Definitely check those out when you donate. And your donations also go towards some fabulous prizes we're raffling away. We have these perlers that you've seen scrolling past your screen, wonderful mugs for your warm beverages, and of course, a digital copy of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. All available for you at $10, $15, and $20 cumulatively donated over the course of the event. If you're able to, definitely reach those targets if you wish to be eligible for those prize incentives. If you're able to and you work at a company that does this, I would also double check to make sure that your company can match your donation. It's a great way to double your impact, and while it may not show up on your tracker, know that Fred Hutch will receive double the impact of every dollar you give. For instance, my company matches all of my donations, and so every dollar I donate gets matched by them, the impact gets doubled. And while it doesn't show up on our totals, it still is going towards a great cause. And welcome back, Zet. I imagine you had a little bit of an internet snafu, or were saying hello to someone.
I was actually helping out tech right there. You know, everything is going a bit unplanned at the moment, so we have to really check things last minute. I'm gonna get over there in a bit again. But we just want to have everything right to, especially that the audio levels sound good for our dear and trusty viewers. I'm sure that you've plugged everything that we have to say and that you've reminded who we are raising funds for. So, I don't know if there's anything else left to say during this intermission for me now.
I've been holding down the fort, I think. I was just going to talk about Fred Hutch, because that name, Fred Hutch, you must wonder who Fred Hutch actually is. Fred Hutch is actually Fred Hutchinson, who was a baseball player for, I believe it was the Rainiers in Seattle. But back in 1963, Mr. Fred Hutchinson found a lump in his neck, and fortunately he had a brother who was a surgeon, Dr. Bill Hutchinson. Bill was able to figure out that it was cancer, and unfortunately Fred did pass away at the age of 45 from that cancerous growth in his neck. But Bill didn't let that loss stop him. He used it to motivate him to start a living memorial, a cancer center designated for researching for cures for a disease that takes the lives of many every year. And with some help from some U.S. senators, the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center opened in 1975. And since then, Fred Hutch has been researching not only cancer cures, but also cures and all sorts of different things: cell and gene therapy, biology, data science, diagnostics, biomarkers, disease prevention, epidemiology, gene regulation, global health, coronavirus, HIV, AIDS, genetic disorders, you name it. Fred Hutch is researching and using these dollars that we are raising to further their work. It's a great group. It's a great institute. I'm fortunate to live in the city where they do their work, so it has a personal connection to where I am, and so hopefully we are able to raise a lot more money. We've gotten to $1,529, and so we're hoping we can get even higher over the next couple of hours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lego, for reminding everybody who Fred Hutch was and what the research is about. I always like to think that in the current situation, we have to remind ourselves that it is so important to support that kind of research in order to properly get the progress that we need as a society and find a way out of this together. And we must not forget how especially brave all these scientists and researchers are, and what that they're not just there doing some academic studies, but that their results can save lives in the end. And that is also what we are here for, raising funds for such an amazing research. And remember that you can always get some nice prizes, because that's actually what I'm here for to tell you. You can see this from my avatar, which is supported, which is displaying the one and only Bingothon mug that you can win if you donate a cumulative amount of just $10. That means you don't have to donate $10 at once. You can donate $2 here, $5 there, and $3 another time during this event, and then you are eligible to win a Bingothon mug, which is an excellent mug. You can drink any hot liquid from it, like hot chocolate, tea, coffee, whatever floats your boat and what brings you through the cold and dark winter days that you have to spend at home alone because you can't see anybody due to COVID. But for $15, you are also eligible for the 3 in total different perlers. One is a Cuphead perler, and the other one is actually a pair of perlers that you can win together. It's Link and Zelda in pixel art from their design of Breath of the Wild. Very cute. You can take a look at this if you click on the prizes. No, excuse me. If you click on the donate button below the stream and then click on the prizes tab there, there you can take a look at what the prizes look like. And of course, the grand prize that you're able to win for a donation of $20 cumulative is a digital copy of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. That is something, at least that is a reason to donate. If you're not already convinced by getting some help for the Fred Hutch research. All right, with that being said, I think we are wrapping things up and about to be ready for the next run. So just hang in there a couple of minutes and we will be here for you with the Resident Evil. Resident Evil HD Remaster Randomizer Single Bingo. That's quite a mouthful. All right, then I guess we're ready for a run.